Rajasthan is the very essence of India. Its impregnable forts and magnificent palaces rise up imperiously from the desert landscape like fairy tale mirages of a bygone era. This is a land of sand dunes and caravans, of parched lands and lake palaces, glittering jewels, vivid colors and vibrant culture. And as enchanting as that may be, there is more to Rajasthan than its seemingly timeless wonders, for through it runs one of the last few meter gauge railway lines left in India, frozen in time till gauge conversion relegates it to the history books forever. Rajasthan lies to the northwest of India, bordering Pakistan. The majority of its railway network in the 1990s was meter gauge, but most of these lines have since been converted to the 5 feet 6 inch broad gauge. The line between Jaipur and Churu is one of the last surviving meter gauge routes left in this region. Originating in Jaipur, this 200 kilometers long route heads northwest to Ringas and onwards to Sikar. Passing through the Shekhawati region and the towns of Fatehpur and Ramgarh, it then finally terminates in Churu. The station of Jaipur is like most other major cities in India, best described as organized chaos. It is well connected with other parts of India's broad gauge network, and its platforms cater to over 80,000 passengers every day. Jaipur is a diesel rail fan's paradise. The tracks here have not yet been electrified, and this is ALCO and EMD territory. One could spend hours watching the diesels hauling both passenger and freight here and not tire of it. It was, of course, very different in the 1990s when Jaipur was a meter gauge junction and most trains were steam hauled. Today, the meter gauge tracks have been relegated to the northwest corner of the station. All that is left are a couple of stabling lines and an island platform on which 8 pairs of well-patronized trains originate and terminate daily. The station of Ringas was once a bustling meter gauge junction. Subsequent gauge conversion of the line between Fulera and Rewari resulted in the dual gauge junction with 2 broad gauge and 3 meter gauge tracks. A dual gauge diamond crossing to the southwest of the station forms the route from Jaipur to Sikar. The station can get quite busy at times with arrivals on both the meter and broad gauge lines. The food stalls on the platforms come to life and various snacks and savories can be enjoyed before it is time for the trains to depart. Peace and quiet returns again to Ringas, as the next train is now not due for at least an hour. It is a good time to pay a visit to the station master's office to have a first-hand view of how traffic is managed on the line with the Neel Ball token system.
देखिए ऐसा है, मीटर गेज की जो अभी गाड़ियाँ चल रही हैं वो इस ब्लॉक के थ्रू चला रहे हैं और रिंगस से लेके बावड़ी थिकरिया के बीच में अगर किसी गाड़ी को चलाना है तो उस स्टेशन से और इस स्टेशन के बीच में लाइन बिल्कुल साफ़ होनी चाहिए। उसके बाद ही किसी गाड़ी का लाइन क्लियर ले सकते हैं या दे सकते हैं। हाँ, लाइन क्लियर दो। ये लाइन क्लियर मिल गया, हमें टेबलेट मिल जाता है, ये गाड़ी के ड्राइवर को दिया जाता है। ये टेबलेट लेके ड्राइवर उस स्टेशन तक जाएगा, अगले स्टेशन तक, और वहाँ जाकर के ये टेबलेट उस स्टेशन मास्टर को देगा। फिर वो स्टेशन मास्टर इसके अंदर डालेगा, यहाँ से डालने का ये रास्ता होता है, इसमें से डाल देगा, उसके बाद में ये डिपॉजिट हो जाएगा तो लाइन वापस क्लोज हो जाएगी।
The next station after Ringas was Baudi Thikriya. The person who would stand trackside to receive and deliver the subsequent token seemed none too perturbed about the seemingly dangerous act.
मेरा नाम सिमू दयाल है, मैं इसी लाइन पे 15 साल से काम कर रहा हूँ। मेरी ड्यूटी ये होती है, स्टेशन मास्टर कहता है वो कार्य करता हूँ और मेरी ड्यूटी के अंदर जो भी गाड़ी आती है उसको सुरक्षित निकालने की कोशिश करता हूँ।
Sikar is home to a small diesel loco shed. The home shed to all the locomotives was Fulera, but after gauge conversion and the subsequent isolation of the line, the small diesel shed at Sikar is now home for the 12 locomotives running on the line. Running repairs and servicing is carried out in the shed, but in case of a major overhaul, the locomotives are then required to be transshipped on flat cars to the original shed at Fulera. The fort of Lakshmangarh lies 30 kilometers northwest of Sikar. Not immediately evident is the fact that the fort is built on scattered pieces of rock, which is a unique feat in the world of fort architecture. The fort was built by Rao Raja Lakshman Singh of Sikar in 1862 when Khan Singh Saledi besieged the prosperous town. Today the fort is in private hands, and besides the small Hanuman temple, it is not open to the general public. A Bollywood blockbuster movie, Gulami, released in 1985, contained several scenes featuring YP locomotives. Extensive portions of the movie were shot in the town of Fatehpur Shekhawati, and one of the songs was also shot around the station. As one can see, the station of Fatehpur Shekhawati has not changed much since, but the urban development around the town has certainly been quite extensive and has steadily crept up right onto the station itself. The towns in Shekhawati are known for their painted mansions or havelis. The Marwadis were the influential business community in Shekhawati, and as the ultimate symbol of their opulence, they commissioned artists to paint the interiors as well as the exteriors of their havelis. No wonder that this region has been recognized as the open-air art gallery of Rajasthan, having the highest concentration of frescoes in the world. Besides the fresco havelis, many elaborate chhatris also exist in the Shekhawati region. Chhatris are built on the cremation sites of wealthy or distinguished individuals and are commonly used to depict the elements of pride and honor in Maratha and Rajput architecture. Close to Ramgarh, I came upon a concrete sleeper casting factory. Initially, I thought that the tracks needed for gauge conversion would come from this factory, but upon inquiry, the manager had absolutely no clue whatsoever about the impending gauge conversion. As we near Churu Junction, the broad gauge line from Sadulpur joins us from the right. Beyond Churu, the line will further connect with Bikaner and Jodhpur, thus providing an alternate north-west link between the states of Punjab, Haryana and Gujarat. Churu was also a busy meter gauge junction, but today it forms the end of the line of the meter gauge section. Its broad gauge line sees a lot of traffic on it, with freights from the ports of Gujarat routed to the northern parts of India through here. Off to the other side of the station, an accident relief train is stabled on one of the meter gauge lines. One doubt it sees much action nowadays, with limited services and the reduced meter gauge network. As train 02094 departs for Jaipur, one can see the benefits gauge conversion would bring to the region as well as the railways. It would provide passengers a direct connection to the major cities of India without changing trains at Jaipur or Churu. It has never been a question of if, but rather when gauge conversion would actually take place. Till then, the line continues to function and serve the region admirably, and still has a lot of fire left in its belly.